So, is real estate a good career path for you? I get asked that question a lot. Having had success in real estate, I get people that call me quite a bit, at least once every couple of weeks, every once a month, asking me, "Hey, Tony, I was thinking about getting involved in real estate, getting a license. What do you think?" And I've had that conversation so many times now that I've basically broken that down, the response, into two different conversations. One is the first conversation lasts about an hour, almost to the minute now. And it's all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. The reality is that 7 out of 10 realtors fail in the first year. And 87%, close to 90% of all the realtors out there fail within the first 5 years. That's a huge failure rate. And, I think that, you should count the cost. The Bible talks about, count the cost before going to war. There is a cost in doing everything and every decision that you make. And I just feel like, going into something knowing that there's a 9 out of 10 chance that you're going to fail in 5 years is something you really should count the cost on. And so anyways, I have that conversation typically within about an hour, tell them, hey, these are all the things why you shouldn't do it. You're going to potentially lose everything from your savings account to, your house, to your family. I mean, literally, I see realtors throughout the industry that have lost everything. It's not an easy career. And part of the reason is most people that get involved with it in real estate don't get involved thinking it's a business. They get involved thinking, oh, this would be fun to sell a house or two. And it seems really easy because these successful agents out there are making it look easy, but it's not. And the second conversation I typically have with somebody is after I say, listen, after you've had a chance to digest what I've said, if you're, think through it for a week, talk about it with your family, your spouse, whatever, about, pursuing this. But after about a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, call me back. And if you're still interested in, pursuing a real estate career, I'll help you become successful at it. I'll teach you what you need to do to be successful at this industry or in this industry. But one of the things that I initially do is what I did with this gentleman that I met yesterday at one of my favorite eateries in the Merida Square, Takieri Tsunami. And we're sitting at the bar, and I started up a conversation, as one does when they're sanguine, with this gentleman that's sitting next to me, and asked him what he did for a living. And he had lost his job in the IT industry and had recently taken a position as an accounting assistant at a large law firm. And he was crunching numbers all day. And so one of the things he had thought about was getting his real estate license. In fact, he was studying for it at the time. A friend of his had suggested he get involved in it because apparently he had had that conversation. And so I asked him, I said, what's your DISC profile? And he had no idea what I was talking about. And this is kind of like a tidbit from Tony today. If you have not taken a DISC test, DISC, a DISC profile test, they're free. Go online, take one. You really should. It doesn't matter what you're doing as a career, or if you don't have a career, this would be a great time to take one. In fact, we have all of our employees take them. People we're interviewing as potential agents coming on our team, where they take them. But I even had people when I was running other companies take them because it helped me figure out if they were suited for a position that we were hiring for. The reality is I would not want to put an introverted person, even if they're an extroverted introvert, right? An introverted person or somebody that's a researcher, an analyst type personality type, as someone that would be doing outside door-to-door sales. They're gonna crumble under that type of stress, that if they were having to go knock on doors and they were more suited for analytics or research, and you sit in front of a computer all day. Where the opposite is also true, right? You wouldn't take somebody who is an outside extrovert, outside sales type person, and ask them to sit in front of a computer all day and do analytics, right? Or crunch numbers. They're just gonna, they're not gonna want to do that. They would give up quickly. So you want to match their personality type as best you can to the position. And I certainly wouldn't say that someone who has on a DISC profile, an SC personality type, more of a systematic or critical thinker, analyst type personality, couldn't be successful in real estate, because I've seen a few do that, but they typically surround themselves with a team or someone that's involved in sales outside type personality to do the forward facing things, and then they run the business from the backside. However, somebody that might have a extroverted type personality that it seems easier for them to, to win friends and influence people, they seem to be more successful on average. So one of the things I asked this gentleman, I said, so have you taken it? He hadn't. And I said, well, here's why I'd highly suggest it. I said, an example of that I use in taking these tests is, as a realtor, one of the things I can do is quickly analyze if somebody is a DI or an SC, right? A DI is somebody that's very 30,000 foot level, give me the general things. And then that SC personality type is more of a detail oriented, give me the details. So when doing, for example, listing presentations, one of the things we'll do is, if I have a listing presentation, I'll show up to a listing. Let's say it's a 2:00 listing, knock on the door, and introduce myself, take 2 steps back as you would, and say, hi, my name is Tony Morris, or we'll edit that out. Hi, my name's Tony, and I am here for a 2:00 appointment. Look at my watch or look at my phone and saying it's 1:58. Just want to let you know I was here on time. And the person that's inside the house that is greeting me at the door will tell me immediately what type of personality type based off of their reaction, right? So the personality type that's a more detail-oriented personality type is going to say, oh, thanks for being here on time. We greatly appreciate it. The other agents weren't here on time, and it bothers me when somebody doesn't respect my time, whatever that scenario is. Whereas the other personality type, that DI or ID personality, typically could care less, right? They're like, don't worry about it. Come on in, Tony. Big handshake, big slap on the shoulder. Come on in. Let me introduce you to my family, my dogs, and all that stuff. So when I'm sitting down at the kitchen table or wherever we end up sitting down at in the living room, and I'm presenting the package of information that I've prepared prior to the meeting, I literally know right then who that information is going to matter to, right? I'll hand my presentation, my listing package or whatever, I'll hand that to the person that I know is either the SC or the CS personality type. So, hey, this is going to make more sense to you. This is going to be more important to you. This is going to tell you all the things that we're going to do step by step, our 32, step open house program, or our listing marketing package. And here's all the things we do. And here's all the information we gather. And this is all the details of, how we're going to be successful. And then I'll turn to the other person and literally say, and this is not going to matter to you at all. All you really want to know is, how much am I going to sell your house for? And when am I going to sell it? And of course they're like, yeah, that's exactly right. I don't need all that stuff. Just tell me what, give me that, that 30,000 foot basic information. And so what's important about that is recognizing that your DISC profile not only tells you why you act the way you do, but it also tells you why other people act the way they do. And you can cater your whole life towards that, from your spouse to your kids, to the people that you relate with at work. So that's kind of tidbit from Tony would be, if you haven't taken a DISC profile, go out and take one. And if you're curious about getting involved in real estate as a career, is that a good path for you? I can certainly help you through that conversation, have the 2 conversations with you, tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't. But then if you really decide that this is something you'd want to do, then I can help you be successful. But, before you reach out, make sure you take that DISC test, and, we can go over that and talk about why you act the way you do, and then why real estate would be a good or wouldn't be a good career path for you. All right. Anyways, good luck out there.